All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wahai Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you out there laboring in the faith and doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I'm about to get into this article. It's from Blacklisted News, Yale study, wild mosquitoes retain genes of genetically modified mosquitoes. Now, with Esau being in rulership and having scientific capability of altering genetics through the study of cells and, different organisms, Esau pretty much perverts, nature. This is another way that Esau destroys the earth, is by genetically modifying creatures from their natural state, and this cause pollution, and diseases, and we've been having like outbreaks, over the years, especially recently with the whole Ebola case over in West Africa, which, the U.S. through the FDA actually has a patent for the Ebola virus. And another thing too is that Esau is, the elites of the society want to depopulate the entire planet, but mainly they want to target us Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. All right. And I'm not going to read the entire article, but mainly, I just figured I'd go into this, due to an outbreak of the Zika virus in 2016 that happened over in Brazil. And, this is a fulfilling prophecy, because part of the signs of the times is that the Most High is going to release pestilence, which is disease outbreaks and epidemics, to, pretty much destroy the population. All right, so it says, in Brazil, a genetic engineering test of mosquitoes appears to have failed, with genes from the mutant mosquitoes now mixing with the native population. All right, so these devils, created genetically modified mosquitoes to mix with the regular mosquitoes. It says, Nature reported, this comes as mad scientists in the United States are finding they are getting bitten back by messing with nature after running their own program to genetically modify mosquitoes. All right. So, originally the Most High, already created all the creatures to, be everyone after their own kind. You also got in nature where, you plant seeds, it's even a law going back to you shouldn't mingle diverse seeds, unless it be defiled. So, through this genetic modification that Esau scientists use. All right, the genetic modified creatures that Esau created for experimentation, it pollutes the earth. It's not within the natural state that the Most High already created them to be. So it causes an imbalance. Okay? It says, the experiment involved a company called Oxitec, which took male Aedes aegypti, if I'm saying it right, mosquitoes and genetically engineered them to have a dominant lethal gene. The idea was first proposed in 2016, which was when we started hearing about the Zika virus, according to an article by Science magazine that discussed the plans to release the genetically modified insects. All right, so bear with me for a moment, Akim. All right, scrolling towards the end of the article, it says, ironically, the Mirror further noted that the first cases of Zika were seen in Brazil in 2016, with up to 1.5 million people thought to be affected by the virus after the first genetic modified experiment. All right, and I'm just gonna pull up some images on Google real quick, you know, about the pertaining to the Zika virus. This is one of the birth defects, that was put out in the news that the Zika virus causes is for babies to be born with small heads. This is one of the plagues that the elites want going out, for mass depopulation. All right, it says for Zika virus symptoms, when present, symptoms are mild and last less than a week. They include fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. They say some may not even show symptoms, or what have you. I'm not sure if they've already came up with a vaccine or what have you, but it was around that time where, people put out information, that, to prevent getting, the Zika virus, you should probably take colloidal silver to counteract the virus if the Zika virus was to ever come into a region, which more than likely it will be coming to the U.S. and spreading, All right, so let's filter this through the scriptures. This is Leviticus 19 and 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender or have sex with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. Which that law we rehearse the righteous acts on. If you can get all your clothing to be of one fabric and not mixed fabric, do that if you can. But the point I'm really focusing on is really not letting the cattle of different breeds, you know, gender with each other, or, sow your field with mingled seed. This is already, you know, a law in the scriptures that, Esau cast behind him, you know, like every law in the scriptures that Esau is broken, you know, which is another example of showing that they're the wicked, because they don't do, what the scriptures command. And genetic modification is another example of that. This is Deuteronomy 22:9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. All right, so you're not even supposed to let, seeds of different plants, intermingle with each other, lest it be defiled, So we find, this principle in here. And what does Esau do? With the cellular research, Esau's finding a way to alter the DNA, change the structure of the DNA, of different plants, organisms, food, anything in the earth, and he's causing an imbalance. This is Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right. So, this is one of the signs of the times as far as when our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to be returning to execute judgment in the earth, and for the kingdom of heaven to be established. All right. And one of the signs and plagues is going to be, pestilence. And this is pestilence in the Greek.
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
And it says pestilence, a pestilent fellow, pest or plague. It says loimos, of uncertain affinity, a plague, literally the disease, or figuratively a pest or pestilence. All right. So a mosquito is a pest, just like roaches or bed bugs or ticks, that's a pest. And, with Esau's genetic modification, these animals these creatures already naturally pass on diseases, to either livestock or humans. So with this genetic modification, that's making it even worse, because their genetic modified genes is coming in contact with other creatures, and this can cause rampant disease. This is Revelations 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged. All right. So all those that are spiritually dead, without this truth, is going to receive their judgment, as far as not being written in the book of life, which is reserved for the hopeful elect. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. All right. So, around the time of our salvation, for the hopeful elect. And Esau is going to be judged for all the instruments that he used to destroy the earth. Whether it be warfare, whether it be through his scientific experiments, whether it be through thermonuclear missiles, whether it be through radiation. Esau is going to be judged for all the ways that, he destroyed the earth. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 49. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Wahai Rakah Kodash, to put the spirit on me to do this lesson. This is one of the plagues, as far as the signs of the times. And we already know the goal of the elites is for mass depopulation to push that New World Order agenda. So with that, I hope this was edifying. Salutations to you, Akim, out there laboring in the faith. And with that, I say shalom.